Imagine this scene. Your client, she's just finished her, say, platelet-rich plasma facial lift microneedling treatment, and she is absolutely beaming. Skin's glowing, she feels amazing, totally renewed. But then here's a really crucial question, isn't it? What happens next? Does she just, walk out the door with her receipt? Or is that moment the real start of something bigger, a true transformation journey?
That's exactly it. That's the core question we're really digging into today. We're focusing on how ambitious folks in aesthetic medicine, practitioners can unlock some serious revenue growth. And just as importantly, really elevate that client satisfaction way beyond just the time they spend in the treatment chair.
Yeah, and for this deep dive, we're drawing on some really fascinating material. It's called Aesthetic Clinic Revenue Growth Through Consultative Cross-Selling. This actually comes from a masterclass by Dr. Ari Masudi. He's got this incredible background molecular biologist, former regenerative medicine researcher, and now a top science tech business consultant. So he knows his stuff.
Absolutely. He really bridges that science and business gap. So our mission today is basically to pull out Dr. Masudi's most valuable insights, those sort of key nuggets. We want to help you understand how to shift from just doing transactions, service by service, to really building a thriving, holistic beauty business. Get ready for some surprising facts and some very practical strategies.
Okay, let's unpack this then, because lots of aesthetic clinics, maybe most, tend to focus almost entirely on the services, right? The things they do in the treatment room. But what if there's this massive opportunity just sitting there being left on the table?
Well, that's what Dr. Masudi really highlights. It's this fundamental shift in thinking. He talks about cross-selling, but it's not just about the money, although, it's a 30% bump in average transaction value. That's not small. But it's really, truly about making clients happier, making the treatments work better, and building those really strong long-term relationships.
So it's like extending the experience, the relationship outside the clinic walls.
Precisely. Think about it. If a client walks out with just that receipt, that amazing glow you created starts to fade pretty quickly, doesn't it? The magic becomes just, a memory. But if she leaves holding the right home care products, she's literally taking your expertise home with her. She keeps that glow going, she maintains the results, and kind of subtly, she becomes this walking advertisement for your clinic. And if you happen to have your own product line, she takes your brand home. That's a constant reminder.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense for the client experience, definitely. But what about the bottom line? Does selling products really, move the needle significantly on profitability?
Oh, absolutely. This is where Dr. Masudi's insights get really stark. He points to industry research showing that beauty businesses, clinics that have a strong retail side, they see profit margins that are 40 to 60% higher.
40 to 60%? Wow.
Yeah, higher than clinics that only do services. And the reason is pretty simple, actually. The markup potential on products, it's just way higher compared to services, which always have those significant overhead costs baked in.
That is a huge difference. But what about loyalty? Does it really make clients stick around longer?
This is maybe the most powerful part. The real kicker, as Masudi puts it, clients who actually buy products from you, they end up spending 67% more with you annually compared to those who don't buy products.
67% more just from buying products.
Yep. They become your most loyal advocates. They're the ones referring friends, family, because they're seeing those consistent results at home day after day. It creates this virtuous cycle. It turns that one-off treatment into potentially a lifetime relationship. And it's not just a sale, it's empowering them. They feel more in control of their results, more connected to you, even between appointments.
Okay, this is where I think it gets really interesting and maybe a bit tricky for a lot of practitioners because, we're trained to be excellent technicians, skilled professionals, but not necessarily salespeople. There's often this internal block, right? That feeling of, ugh, I'm a healthcare professional. I'm a beauty expert, not some pushy car salesperson. It can feel a bit, uncomfortable.
It really can. And Dr. Masudi tackles this head on. It's a core mindset barrier. And the way he reframes it is actually quite powerful. He says, you're not selling products, you're prescribing solutions. Think about it like this. When a dermatologist gives you a prescription for a cream, you don't question their motive, right? You accept their professional recommendation.
Right. It's part of the treatment.
Exactly. Your professional grade skincare recommendations. They deserve that same level of respect, that same authority. Masudi quotes a successful clinic owner who said, recommending a product is as much a part of your service as performing the treatment itself. Now, this isn't just playing with words. It's tapping into the trust clients already have in you for their, aesthetic health and extending it logically to their home routine.
So the first big step is really shifting that internal perspective, getting the whole team on board with this idea.
Precisely. It's about training your staff, your team members, to see themselves as beauty consultants, first and foremost. Their role isn't just doing the facial or the injection, it's ensuring the client gets the best possible, longest-lasting results. That's the actual goal. You have to address those limiting beliefs head-on. Things like, oh, selling feels pushy, or good work should speak for itself, or maybe clients will ask if they want something.
Yeah, I've heard all of those.
Right. The solution Dr. Masudi proposes is to reframe selling as service completion. Think about it. Is a microneedling treatment really complete if the client goes home without the products needed to protect that investment and enhance healing?
Probably not when you put it like that.
Exactly. So recommending those products isn't being pushy, it's actually being thorough.
Yeah.
It's fulfilling your professional duty to ensure the best outcome.
Okay, so if we're not being pushy, if we're not doing a hard sell, how do we guide clients effectively towards the right solutions? What's the secret sauce to getting clients to basically sell to themselves?
This is where the real art comes in, and it's all about question-based selling. Dr. Masudi emphasizes that the most powerful technique isn't your pitch, it's asking the right questions. Because when clients uncover their own needs, their own gaps, through your guided questioning, that natural resistance just tends to melt away.
So instead of saying, like, you really need this serum.
Exactly. Instead of saying, you should use this amazing retinol serum, look at these benefits. Oh, you'd ask something more like, you mentioned wanting to work on those fine lines around your eyes. What specific products are you currently using at home to address that? And, how's that working out for you?
Okay, so you're guiding them to think about it themselves. Is there a formula for these questions?
There is a kind of strategic structure, Masudi suggests. It often follows this pattern. What specific action or product type are you currently using to achieve the result they want? Maybe without a common negative side effect. So for instance, after injectables, you might ask, what's your current routine at home for protecting that investment, expending your Botox results? Or what do you use weekly to really deep cleanse your pores without stripping your skin? It gets them thinking specifically.
That's smart. It puts the focus on their goals and current habits. And you mentioned a reflection technique as well. That sounds like it could be really powerful after a treatment.
Oh, it's incredibly effective. It's usually a quick 3-step sequence right after the treatment when they're feeling and seeing the results. Step 1, ask something like, typically, how long do the really noticeable effects of this treatment last for you when you don't use any specific supporting home care? They might say, oh, maybe a week, tops. Step 2. Then you follow up with, and how does your skin generally feel and look after that week compared to how it feels right now, fresh off the treatment table? They'll likely say, well, not as bright, not as smooth, the glow fades.
Right, contrasting the immediate result with the usual outcome.
Precisely. And then step 3, the clincher. So what do you think might happen to those results, that brightness and smoothness, if we could actually extend them significantly with the right targeted home care protocol? See, you're not telling them they need products, you're letting them connect the dots themselves. They arrive at the conclusion that home care is key. They sell themselves.
That is very subtle, very client-led. I like that. Okay, beyond the questions themselves, what about the actual words we use? Are there certain questions or phrases that just kill the conversation? Things to absolutely avoid?
Definitely. Dr. Masudi is very clear on this. For example, never ask a closed question like, do you have any serums at home?
Why not?
Yeah.
Seems logical.
Because the automatic answer is almost always yes, whether it's the right serum or not. It shuts down the conversation. Instead, ask an open-ended question like, what type of serums are you currently using in your routine? That invites detail.
Okay, got it. Open-ended. What else?
Avoid asking, would you like to try this product? It's just too easy for them to politely say no thank you. Instead, focus on their goals. What results are you really hoping to achieve with your home care routine? Keep the focus on their desired outcome.
Right. And what about the language we should use? You mentioned power words. We're making it sound more professional.
Yes, a language makeover is really important for establishing authority. Simple shifts make a big difference. Use treatment instead of just cream or lotion. Talk about a protocol instead of a routine. Refer to products as clinical grade rather than just professional. And frame your recommendations as a prescribed regimen, not just some products I recommend.
So instead of saying, here's a good cream for you,
you'd say something like, based on our assessment today, for optimal results, your prescribed treatment protocol includes this specific clinical-grade resurfacing treatment to use 3 times a week. It sounds much more integrated and essential, doesn't it?
It really does. It sounds like part of the professional service. And you mentioned an authority language formula, too.
Yeah, this is about using language that conveys expertise and confidence. Use clear, directive phrases like, to maintain these results, you need to incorporate, or your skin requires this specific ingredient, or the protocol must include, or it's essential that you.
So being quite direct.
Yes, but from a place of expertise, not pushiness. For example, your skin requires this hyaluronic acid serum daily to maintain the hydration and plumpness we achieve today. It positions the product as necessary for their goals. You want to avoid wishy-washy language like, well, you might want to consider trying this. That just sounds uncertain, and clients pick up on that. They want confident guidance.
That makes total sense. Confidence inspires confidence. Okay, and then there was this 3YS technique. How does that fit in? Getting them to agree to things first.
Exactly. This is all about building momentum before you even show them a product. The idea is to get the client actively agreeing with her own stated goals and desires. You leverage the psychological principle of consistency. So you might recap. Okay, so just to confirm, you mentioned earlier wanting to really tackle those dark spots on your cheeks, correct? Client says yes. And you also want to make sure you maintain this amazing brightness we got from today's treatment for as long as possible. Client, yes, definitely. And ideally, you'd prefer a home routine that's effective but doesn't take a half an hour morning and night.
Right.
Client, yes, that would be great.
So 3 yeses, reinforcing their own priorities.
Exactly. They've just verbally committed to their goals. Then, immediately after that third yes, you present the solution that meets those needs. Perfect. Based on that, your personalized treatment protocol includes these 3 key products, which will address the pigmentation, maintain brightness, and fit easily into your schedule. And this flows naturally into what Dr. Masudi calls the assumptive close. Because you've built that agreement, you don't then ask if they want to buy. You assume they do because it solves the problems they just agreed they want solved.
So you just explain how to use them.
Precisely. You'd say something like, okay, so to maintain these fantastic results, you'll start with the gentle cleanser tomorrow morning, followed by 2 pumps of the brightening serum. Then in the evening, after cleansing, you'll apply the resurfacing treatment just every other night for the first week to let your skin adapt. You're outlining the plan, assuming compliance and success.
Wow, okay. That's a whole different way of approaching it. But, even with the best approach, you're still going to get objections sometimes, right? How do you handle those smoothly? What if someone says the classic, I need to think about it?
Yeah, that's bound to happen. Dr. Masudi gives some great non-confrontational responses. For I need to think about it, you acknowledge and redirect. Say something like, of course I understand. Taking care of your skin is definitely an investment. Just so I can help you think it through, what specific aspect is on your mind? Is it about the products themselves, the routine, or perhaps how it fits with what you're already doing? It opens the door to understanding their actual hesitation, which might be different from just needing time.
Okay, that's helpful. What about, oh, I already have loads of products at home?
Another very common one. The response there is positive framing plus exploration. That's wonderful that you're already so committed to your home care. That's half the battle. Can I ask, what specific results are you seeing with your current products? Are they fully addressing that mention the specific concern they raised, e.g. texture issue, dullness we talked about achieving today? Again, it gently guides them to compare their current results with their desired results, potentially highlighting a gap your recommendation fills.
Right, focusing on the results, not just the fact they own something. And the really tough one, oh, it's too expensive.
Ah, yes, the price objection. The key here is reframing value. You could say, I completely understand looking at the investment. Let's maybe break it down slightly differently. This particular treatment lasts about 3 months with daily use. So it works out to roughly calculate daily costs, e.g. $2 per day, maybe similar to your daily coffee, and then connect it back to their goal. Thinking about the amazing results we achieved today, what value would you place on maintaining that smooth texture and brightness consistent? You shift the focus from the total price tag to the daily cost and the value of the results they desire.
Reframing it against a daily habit like coffee is quite powerful. Okay, so this all sounds incredibly valuable, these techniques and mindset shifts. But what does it mean for a clinic owner or manager in practical terms? You can't just, tell your team about this and expect it to happen overnight.
Absolutely not. Implementation is crucial, and Dr. Masudi stresses that it requires structure and consistency. He recommends starting with short daily training sessions, maybe just 15 minutes each morning, focusing on one specific principle of consultative selling. Get the team practicing these question formulations with each other, using real, anonymized client scenarios. Role-playing sounds cheesy, but it really builds that muscle memory and confidence.
So practice, practice, practice. Beyond that, how do you make sure it actually gets used with clients and sticks?
Well, you start small. Have them begin implementing the techniques with maybe just a few clients they feel comfortable with. Then, and this is key, hold brief daily debrief sessions. What worked? What felt awkward? What objections came up? It's about learning and refining together, and you absolutely have to track the numbers. Measure those conversion rates. What percentage of clients are buying products post-treatment? What's the average transaction value? Seeing the numbers move is incredibly motivating.
And identify who's doing well.
Yes. See who's getting traction, understand what they're doing differently, and share those best practices with the whole team. Set some clear, achievable goals for improvement. And one bonus tip Masudi often gives, get your staff using the products themselves.
personal testimonials.
Exactly. Nothing builds authenticity like genuine personal experience. If they love the product, it's much easier and more natural for them to recommend it.